Well, back guys to Fog Entertainment, and we're here with the final season of Lost review. It's always sad when you finish a TV show, especially a good one, right? When it's shite and it annoys you more than actually enjoying it. Sopranos, then you know it's not as sad. But this one, I thoroughly enjoyed Lost, and aye, let's dive in to the final season of it, big man. But we kick off obviously with the two-part premiere. We have LAX. And we basically see Flight 815 never crash, and we basically get, I believe they're called Flash Sideways at this stage. But aye, so basically Charlie swallows his drugs, Jack saves him, the plane lands. Then we see, it was great seeing John and Jack actually speaking with each other, which was great to see. So basically we see after the jug detonation that 815 never crashes, etc. And then we see the original timeline where it's what happened. But yeah, what I didn't like about this is like the fact Juliet was actually alive and they managed to free her, but then she dies anyway. And it's just like, what was the point? It was kind of like just, it's like, well, like one, it's very unrealistic she survived that fall, right? Two, it's very unrealistic she survives the fucking hydrogen bomb gimmick, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Jughead's detonation, right? But I can't accept it because it's like electromagnetism, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. But I don't know, man. Not good. During all this, so Saeed, obviously he gets shot. It seems fucking ages ago in season 5 he gets shot, but yeah. But now they're stuck here, and yeah, they've managed to find a temple. Well, I say they managed to find a temple. They get took there, and Saeed actually dies, but then he gets brought back alive, which, again, I'm not really a fan of that. Like, I wasn't exactly mourning Saeed, but I was like, well, fuck, let's just kill Saeed, and they bring him back, and it's kind of like, how many times, like, the show, there's that, like, Supernatural, for example, I mean, they've killed off the main characters about 12 times, so you don't really give a fuck when they actually do it, you know? But, aye, man, you get my, point here. Meanwhile, fucking, what's this, flight 316 that landed last season, basically, obviously Jacob got killed at the end of last season. Now the man in black is basically revealed as John Locke. Well, he's acting as John Locke, which again, so John Locke is dead, there is no two ways about it. This guy is not John Locke, right? And it's like, we kind of get shafted at a proper John Locke death. You know? We really do get shafted at that. Like, when Ben killed him, like, it didn't feel as big because I just assumed he would be able to come back. You know, I honestly assumed that, fuck, the island's going to bring him back in some form. You know? So, we have a main character in Ben killing John Locke, you know, who, out of the main group, is like a top dog in the star power department, and he kind of just get killed like that. You know, so I don't know, man. That wasn't exactly the greatest thing. It was also great seeing Boone and all back here. Also the flight attendants. And yeah, Shannon was supposed to be in the premiere, but she came back for the finale, guys, which we'll get to in a wee bit. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of this season, like the whole temple gimmick. I'll be honest, I wasn't really a fan of that. But yes, Saeed, they're basically trying to poison him because he's been tainted, brother. And we also find out that Claire is still alive. She on the island, but she's also been tainted by the black stuff, whatever the fuck they want to they call that stuff there, you know. But Jack refuses though to basically kill Saeed, and then he ends up taking the pill himself, which is then leads Dogan to basically thing him about that, which is all good in the hood. And then basically, yeah, Sawyer and Kate basically planned the leave here, but then he basically reveals to her that he was going to propose to Juliet, and he blames himself for her death, brother. But yeah, and also at the end of this episode, that is when Claire helps Jin as well. So yeah, I mean, this season, I don't really know what to make yet. I feel like it could have been a lot better, but as a final season, like towards the end, it definitely, you know, picked up. And we go into like episode 4 here, the substitute. John Locke, we basically see what happened to him. He's still in the wheelchair. I was kind of hoping for in this alternative universe that he wouldn't be, or timeline, that he wouldn't be on the, you know, he wouldn't be in the wheelchair. But it was weird seeing like Ben and all, and the other guy with fucking, what's the other guy, Hertz or something, in a fucking wheelchair. But yeah, he basically becomes a substitute teacher. And what I also liked about this season is the fact, like, we've seen all these characters, like Ben, he'd never went to the island, so he was never corrupted. You know, then we get to see his dad as well, talking about, oh, I should have took you to the island, been with that Dharma folk, I will. You know what? And then we also see later on this season, I'm kind of going all over the place, but you know what? It's my review. It's season 6. It's the last one. I'll do what I want. We've seen Ben, like, he chooses his daughter over getting the top, the principal's seat at the school. But obviously, like, when it came to the island, he didn't. So it shows you, like, it did corrupt him and shit like that. And it's not even his daughter here. You know, it's just some kid at school, which is fucking good. But yeah, meanwhile, the Man in Black, he basically recruits Richard and James for this entire gimmick. But yeah, Sawyer, which was pretty good, basically realizes that the Man in Black is not Locke, like, straight away, while everyone else kind of didn't. And he takes him to the caves, and it basically reveals all the names, and that Jacob was trying to tick some of them off at this stage. And then we've also got the other group running about. We've got like Alana and Ben and all, Son and Frank Lapidus, and they must travel to the temple for protection. So again, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, Son wasn't very utilized this season. Fucking his neighbor was the pilot guy. I forgot even fucking existed until like late on. You know, but it all got made up in the end, I guess, with the whole thing. Then Harley, in the next episode, he basically takes Jack to the lighthouse. He sees the picture of his the house from when he was a kid. But yeah, basically Harley can see Jacob's ghost. And again, it's like they built up it. Well, let's say they built up the Jacob guy. We only known him for like, he existed for like, well, I guess since like season 3. But I mean, I thought it was a load of shit initially, you know. And then like when he does get a bit of a presence, he just gets killed. You know, and also in this timeline, Jack actually has a son, and he's called David, and it turns out his mother is actually Juliet, and initially things aren't looking good for David and Jack. He doesn't really like his dad, but then eventually it warms up to him. So yeah, that's all good in the hood and that origin, brother. But yeah, basically here Jack joins the Alliance essentially because he destroys the lighthouse. But yeah, what can you do about it? What in the name of fuck can you do about it? The next episode though is where the temple basically crumbles. Saeed kills Dogan. He kills his assistant. Yeah, they let the big monster in, the smoke monster, the Man in Black, whatever you want to call him. Then that like jobber crew through the beach arrives with Alana, and they manage to sneak through a wall with Ben. And shit like that. Claire doesn't really want to be saved, but essentially Saeed, Claire and Kate join the others with the Man in Black outside the episode here. Meanwhile, Saeed's dealing with a family crisis in the other timeline, which is a bit of a mess. It turns out Kimi is here, and he's also got Omar as well. And then he stumbles upon Jin, who's in a freezer. We discover what happened to him later on, because he was supposed to give the watch to Kimi in this timeline, but he didn't have the money because it took off him in the airport. So yeah, I like the fact that all that stuff tied together, and even all that brought all these characters. Again, episode 7 was basically a Ben episode. It wasn't the greatest episode of all time, you know. Alana tries to kill him here, but he manages to escape, and then they manage to work together. During all this though, Miles digs up the diamonds for Nikki and Paolo's grave, and I mean, how irrelevant do they seem even later on? And during this though, Charles Whitmore is arriving on the island, which I thought was pretty good. Like I said earlier though, Ben basically chooses Alex over the principal seat, which he didn't of course do with the island. Then moving on, we do get a bit of recon. The Man in Black tells Sawyer to go to Hydra Island. He goes there, and it turns out there's another group of people there, and it's Whitmore's people. Sawyer basically plans to put the Man in Black and his crew against Whitmore's crew, and then hopefully him and like Kate and all can manage to escape. But yeah, during this though, Claire attacks Kate, obviously due to Adam, but the Man in Black and Saeed, well, I think it was just I think it was just Locke, and he absolutely pimp slaps her, man. It was fucking brilliant. Right hand, backhand, man. It was fucking absolutely lethal, you know. And also Sawyer reveals his plan towards the end of this episode. During all this though, Kate gets arrested in another timeline by Sawyer, which is funny. And then we've also got Saeed and Kate in the same cell, and then we get introduced to Desmond like here, and we get a few great episodes with Desmond trying to like reunite and make everyone remember. And I feel like he was probably Desmond's burly in this show, right? Which I feel like hurts him a bit, but at the same time makes him feel special. Like, I don't know how many episodes he's in, but how many episodes this show is there? There's like 120 or something, I think, something like that. The guy's probably in, what, a fifth of them? Maybe that's pish math, but I mean, honestly, it doesn't really seem like he's in much of that. Meanwhile, though, we do get a full episode centered around Richard, which I thought was really good. And it shows how he became ageless. And also during this, he tries to kill himself, but he says he can't, but he has to let Jack do it. And Jack basically it appears Jack wants to kill himself as well here, but the dynamite does not go off. Meanwhile, though, in episode 15, we get a full flashback episode with the Man in Black and Jacob. Turns out they're brothers, and basically see what happened there, and that their mother actually killed their real mother, which was just a fucking brutal scene, by the way. Like, I mean, a fucking hell, what the name of Christ was going on there. Meanwhile, though, back in 2007, Jin, we basically get the whole stuff with Jin here. Well, in 2004, I mean, what happened to him with the whole money thing, and he gets caught. Sun gets shot though with stray fire here. Jin manages to escape with her, and then she reveals that she's pregnant. But they get to the hospital, and what's going to happen there, big man? Meanwhile, the Man in Black and Saeed are heading towards the big Hydra island here, and then the episode basically ends with Saeed spying on Whitmore's team, and then this is where we get introduced, reintroduced to Desmond. He's being dragged out of the submarine, he's back in the hood, and they're going to use him because he's been exposed to electromagnetic fucking shit, man, brother. Testify, as Whitmore put it here. But so I believe Desmond, from when he's shot by Ben, this is like his first appearance in it. So absolutely shite. But yeah, he basically here he helps a bunch of characters throughout the next day. I mean, literally everyone who was on this, who's been on this island, he has a run in. It was great seeing him with Charlie, as well, you know, and they crash into a nearby marina, but he manages to fucking, and he also puts his hand up and basically not mimics, redoes the whole not pennies boat thing, which I thought was a really good thing to see. And then yes, he breaks out Saeed. He also breaks out Kate, and then Hurley helps them with the help of Ana Lucia, but none of them can quite remember. Well, Hurley remembers because he goes on a date with what's her name? Oh, I forgot her fucking name. Libby, that's her name. You know, that's the name. Meanwhile, though, during all this, basically, Desmond talks to Daniel Faraday, and then he basically gets the big George guy who was on the boat, which seems like ages ago, George Minkowski. He's like, "Is there anything I can do for you, Desmond?" He's like, "George, get me the flight manifest for flight 815, brother." And then so basically, yes, at this point you kind of figure out, right, well, he's going to have to go around fucking every single body here. And then yeah, then we get Everybody Loves Hugo. I believe there was already an episode titled Everybody, or Everybody Hates Hugo. Maybe Everybody Hates Hugo, because I feel like they can't call an episode the same thing here. But during all this stuff, this is the episode where Hurley begins to remember, and then Desmond runs over Locke in the 2004 Flash Sideway here, and it was funny, like, it literally just came out of fucking nowhere. Like, he just runs the guy over. It's like, holy good fuck, what in the name of Christ is going on. Also here we got a quick Cameo by Michael says his soul can never leave the island. See, so it would have been good to see him in the Flash sideways and shit, but I guess technically that can't really happen, you know. And then during this, Alana, who I kind of felt like just been a bit of a waster this season, not really doing much, puts her bag down and the dynamite just blows up, and then basically Richard takes control of the group and says, "We're going to go off, brother. Oh, brother." And then during all this though, they were going to blow up the plane, but Harley snuck off, and then he ends up blowing up the Black Rock, and it's like, okay, man. He says that now Jacobs told him that they have to take the group to the Man in Black, but it turns out bullshit. For Harley at this stage, Richard then takes Ben and Miles basically to the barracks to collect explosive C4, and then they're going to go and destroy the plane. Also, it was pretty good seeing Michael apologise to Harley for killing Libby, but I feel like they've done Michael dirty. I feel like the show, it's done a few people dirty with the deaths. A few people, Michael, definitely. I feel like Locke as well. I'm sure there's other people that come to mind, but can't exactly hang here. Meanwhile, though, the Man in Black throws Desmond down a well and basically tells Saeed to go kill him. But yeah, then Hurley's group arrives to talk to the Man in Black, and now we're almost at the end of this fucking series, guys. We dive in to episode 13 here, and this basically we get John Locke being rushed to hospital, but he manages to be saved here at the hospital. And this is also, we see here that Sun actually manages to see him. Is this the episode where Sun and is this the episode where Sun, I can't particularly remember the episode where Sun and Jin, but it's this, I can't remember what episode it is, but they look at each other and they remember the fact that, oh fuck, we had a baby, and they realise they're dead, you know? And I was like, fuck, that's when it hit me, like, holy shit, everything's clicked here. Because I kind of thought, like, this must be like the afterlife, or it just as a completely different alternative, timeline. So yeah, that's when it first hit me here. But during all this is when Jack is preparing to operate on Locke, but this is where he begins to recognise him. We get a few sit downs though back in 2007 on the island. Jack and the Man in Black are speaking, and he admits to impersonating Christian Shepherd, which I thought was pretty funny, but that's the bottom line. Yeah. Meanwhile though, back in 2007, artillery shells, brother, start to get fired because Whitmore has betrayed Sawyer. Jack is injured by an explosion, but the Man in Black, Big John Locke, saves him. He tells him not to worry, and then basically we get Jack, Saeed, and the Man in Black working together here. But yeah, and Saeed also doesn't kill Desmond. He says that he did, but it was off screen. There's just no way they were going to kill fucking Desmond off screen. Meanwhile though, the crew on the boat do get shafted, Sawyer and all the rest of the crew, and then basically Sawyer told Jack to get off his boat, which he immediately did. So bang bang, good night. Then we get the next episode 14. We get the candidate brother. Oh, testify. John Locke manages to get the feeling back in his legs, which was pretty good. And then we basically get Anthony Cooper, who is just absolutely crippled. He's in a vegetated state here. Not good for him here. But also, I kind of went off topic here, but John Locke doesn't get his legs back till later on. But well, man, you know what I'm talking about, big man. You know that I'm talking but aye. Then basically John Locke, the Man in Black, Jack, they save the prisoners here for the big man Charles Whitmore. And again, Whitmore just gets the absolute fucking shit as death. Is it this? I don't know if it is this episode, right? But it's just a proper shite episode. Basically Sawyer though, he tells Jack, well, not a shite episode, it's just a shite deaf, you know. Sawyer asks Jack though to stop the Man in Black from getting on board, but you can clearly see here that he could have got on board. He didn't really make a real attempt, you know. And I was kind of thinking, like, what the? I mean, you must want them on the fucking thing. Kate is shot during all this. They all manage to take it on, but they get jobbed out. Claire gets jobbed out. The Man in Black is jobbed out. But on the sub, they discover that there's C4 on the bag, in Jack's bag, and basically Jack says nothing will happen if we leave it because we can't die. Essentially, we can't do it, brother. He can't kill us. But then Sawyer's like, well, I don't believe you, Doc. He pulls it aside, then sacrifices himself, runs out with the bomb. I mean, two things here. One, it's kind of out of nowhere and a bit anticlimactic for a character like Side just to go like that. And two, of course, it's going to be the Middle Eastern guy that blows himself up, you know. But yeah, this floods the sub. Frank is knocked out by a door. Sun gets pinned by fragments of the submarine. Jack, Jin, and Sawyer try and save her, but Sawyer manages to get knocked out in the process. Jin basically convinces Jack to get Sawyer out of there. Jin tries to free Sun, but he can't. He says that he won't leave her. They then embrace. It's kind of like Titanic, but fucking better than Titanic, in my opinion. And they both drown while holding. This was a really sad moment. I really thought Jin, like, I didn't really expect him to leave Sun, but I could have just pictured Jin escaping and raising the daughter alone, the kid. I could have seen that because it could have been like a cool dynamic, like he never saw her, and the kid lost her mum, and now the dad's going to come into it, and the kid doesn't know him. But Jack, Sawyer, and Kate regroup at the nearby beach, but they mourn who died there. It was a really sad scene. They all break down. Well, apart from Sawyer, he's fucking out yet. Meanwhile, though, the Man in Black basically tells Claire that the sub has sank. There are survivors, but he's gonna finish what he started, brother. Testify. And then we move into episode 15, which I've already explained. It was weird for this to be like a full flashback episode, and it's like the fourth episode. But it's in this episode. This is where Whitmore dies, and again, I just didn't really fucking rate this. Also, during this is where we see Desmond do the whole stuff thing where he breaks him out of jail and he tells Kate, we're going to a concert. Ben also has a meal with Danielle and Alex, which is a really good scene as well. Also during all this, Christian Shepherd's coffin has been found, but it's all planned by Desmond. Meanwhile, though, Jack determines that they must find Desmond, but the Man in Black is also looking for the thing. But yeah, now one of them has to become the guardian of the island, protect the light. Jack volunteers, he drinks it, good night. So Jack is that new big man. Meanwhile, Ben, Miles and Richard, they reach the barracks, and this is basically where Charles Whitmore dies, and so does Sue, because the Man in Black just slits his fucking throat. But yeah, Whitmore whispers a response to the Man in Black, and basically, yep, he already got the information he needed, bang. Ben kills him, bit lackluster, but well, big man, and now they need to use Desmond's resistance to electromagnetism to destroy the island. Because obviously he's the one that has to go into the light, and it's holy moly, we're near the end, big man. But now we move in to the two-part finale, and this is The End Is Near. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, but basically, what happens, Claire gives birth here in the flash sideways. Charlie, they all remember, they all hug. Jack is like the last one to arrive with his dad. We'll get to that a wee bit later on. Meanwhile, back on the island, they head to the heart of the island, while Sawyer goes after Desmond. He's confronted though by Ben, the Man in Black, but they basically just let him go, which was weird. Meanwhile, Desmond though gets rescued by Rose and Bernard, and we also see Vincent. It won't be the last time we see Vincent. Meanwhile, Frank Lapidus is rescued, a guy I thought was dead, and then they're basically like, alright, let's get to the plane. Miles, Richard, and meanwhile, basically both crews are on the way to the heart of the island. Jack then tells the Man in Black that he's going to kill him, and together with Desmond, they will travel to the heart of the island, which is pretty mad here. But yes, Desmond is lowered down to the heart of the island. He reaches a chamber, and he basically he's immune to the electromagnetic energy. He manages to remove the giant stone thing that was there. The light goes out and then the pool dries up and it looks like the destruction of the island is going to happen. Jack didn't think it would happen, but now it's happened because the Man in Black predicted it. Meanwhile, it basically makes the Man in Black normal again, but in John Locke's body, which I thought was pretty funny. And then basically we get a fight between him and Jack. Jack gets stabbed here at the exact same spot where his appendix was taken out, which also ties into like the scars that he's been having throughout the Flash Sideways, I guess. But yeah, he almost kills him, but Kate shoots the Man in Black. Jack kicks him off, and yes, that is the Man in Black dead. He basically tells Kate though to go get Claire and leave the island, and Jack will sacrifice himself in order to hang, so he has to put the thing back in. He gets down there, basically the whole Desmond thing, oh, I'll see you in another lifetime, but puts the thing down. They manage to get Desmond. Hurley's obviously sad about Jack's impending death at this stage of the game, but they get Desmond back up. Jack though manages to crawl out of there, which I don't actually know how the fuck he got out of there, but yeah, Hurley asks Ben for help to take over the island because he's now the new guardian of the island. Jack though, he reawakens outside by a river, so how much of that's actually real? Well, I guess they could have took him to a river, I guess. But yes, he falls to the ground just where he started the plane crash. Vincent then approaches him, lies down next to him. Jack stirs up. He sees the plane take off, which has got Sawyer and the gang on it, Kate and all, and the other three there as well. So they escape. Hurley and Desmond and Ben are going to stay behind and protect the island, and Jack slowly closes his eyes as he dies. And then yeah, we basically get the whole everyone getting reunited in the church. Basically Christian confirming here that everyone is dead. So yeah, obviously here this basically confirms that everyone is dead, but we don't know how long this is in the future. You know, that's like reunion scene is, because obviously Sawyer and Kate could have lived to like 80, you know. But aye guys, that is it for Lost. I've been talking here for a while, and there's going to be a lot more fizz to deal with, so this is not going to be the only thing. But yeah, I loved the way it mirrored the start. It was really sad, but it was really cool in a way. Like, Jack was happy, his friends got off the island, he saved the island. You know, it was like things kind of came full circle. He came on a plane, he's seen it take off, and he's going to die. You know, and then we saw the end where they all reunited, which was brilliant as well. And you cannot deny that. Christian then opens the door, Christian, and it reveals another bright light that slowly envelops everyone inside the church. A lot of people didn't like this finale, but you know what? I feel like for how batshit crazy the show became towards the end, like the last 3 seasons especially, I feel like it wrapped it up pretty good, you know? So I will give the final season an 8 out of 10. And you know what? I'll give the show an 8 out of 10. I feel like it never took off to like GOAT heights, and when it did have like a GOAT moment or like a GOAT episode, you know, it kind of got brought straight back down to earth. I feel like there was a lack of like it was consistently good, but there wasn't like consistently like greatness, you know. For that reason though, guys, still a great show, guys. But anyway, till next time, peace.